And gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Voices with Derek Stephen Prince. And now, your guest, Erika Harlacher. And we're live.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome for a Wednesday. It's halfway through the week, so it can't be that bad, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially.
Oh, man. I thought it was still Monday, so that makes me feel better.
But it doesn't solve the potential challenge I know that you are currently facing, which is, what do you currently do about your remote recording situation? Yes?
Yeah. It's been a struggle.
The struggle is real. The struggle is real. Yes, absolutely.
I miss studios, but, we're making it work.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't like stalk you or anything like that. I notice some of the posts that you post on Facebook sometimes. You have I know that you have a dog. Is it a beagle?
He's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. He sounds very fancy. He's not.
Well, okay. Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Spaniel.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of like a fluffier Cocker Spaniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's very dopey.
Does what's his name?
Gus.
Does Gus
Yes.
Is Gus okay with the current environment? Because I know it's hot and it's like muggy and sometimes it's like blah.
Yeah, he doesn't like the heat. He's not happy about that. And I keep having to not have the air conditioning on because while I'm recording, the microphone picks it up. So both Gus and my fiance are like very upset about the whole situation. But, we're making it work. We're keeping Gus's fur cut short. I put water on him. He's fine.
Exactly. Is your fiance in the industry as well?
Yeah, he's an animator and a writer.
Oh, sweet. Well, hey, honey, I need to be in a new show. Can you
Yes, boom. The plan is that we'll make shows together. I'll voice them. He'll animate them. We'll both write. It'll be great.
Awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, you've also done some casting in the past, have you not?
Only in my mind.
Oh, only in your mind.
Yes. I'm like, I know who should be in this role, and then sometimes I'm correct, and I'm like, see, I should totally be a casting director.
Erika, who has been in a slew of productions since she started back in 2012?
12, yeah. I think that's what it was. Sounds right.
So for those of you guys that may not be as familiar with her work, let me kind of just give you the brief rundown, and then we'll kind of go backwards in time a little bit. So currently, because I believe it's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, BNA, right? You're in that.
Yes.
As Jackie.
Yes, I love Jackie.
Final Fantasy VII, the remake, you played Kyrie Canyon?
Kyrie. I also in the audition said Kyrie because I like Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, oh, Kyrie.
Okay. And you... Well, we'll get to that. One of the longest names in anime history. Magia record Puella Magia Madoka Magica Side Story.
Yes. Those were some words.
Yes, they were. As Yachiyo Naname.
Yes.
Okay.
She's great.
And then, this is going to be some questions coming up. The last evolution of Sailor Moon 5, where you played the Sailor Star Maker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I gotta ask, because this is one of those things, it looks like, I couldn't make out if this was original animation or if this was anime. Dino Girl?
Yes, Dino Girl. It's anime, but it's anime. Like animated in a very American style.
Yeah.
It's super fun. It's so funny.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And can people find you on that particular show anywhere?
Yes. I think I play a girl named Erika.
Erika,
if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yep.
And I also play a ninja boy.
Ninja-kun.
He's cool. Yeah.
Where can people watch that, if anywhere? Do you know? Any idea?
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Netflix might have it, or Crunchyroll. It's one of those. It's definitely on some streaming somewhere.
Cool. And you got to be a part of the Beyblade Burst franchise, Beyblade Burst Rise, as Dante Koryu.
Yes, the protagonist for that season. He screams a lot.
All the protagonists in Beyblade scream a lot.
Yeah, when he's happy, he screams. When he's sad, he screams. When he's angry, he screams even more. So,
and were you the main protagonist in that?
Yeah, for the season. Yeah,
so
it kind of switches.
I don't know if this is the case, because when I was in Turbo, Riger was just pardon my French, but he was an asshole.
He's an asshole.
He just was. He's a cocky little ass. Is that the case with your character too?
Dante's nicer.
Yeah.
He's like a bad loser, but he's not like mean about it. And Tony, the director, was like, he's nicer than Iger was. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. He just still yells a lot, and he doesn't like to lose.
And then probably the second longest anime title, High School Prodigies Have It Easy in Another World.
Yes.
As Ringo Ohashi.
Yeah.
Ohushi.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, she's cute. She's like very quiet and adorable. Yeah.
You're in B-Stars.
In B-Stars, yeah.
As elves.
Yes.
And then probably what I think a lot of people recognize you for as far as your voice goes, probably three of the biggest, obviously, but Persona 5 leading the pack, and Takamaki.
Takamaki, yeah.
Takamaki.
They're very specific, yeah.
Okay, Takamaki. Okay. Stress on the first syllable.
Yes, they were very specific about pronunciation.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. And then Catherine Full Body, you were in that, but same character.
Yes. Ann is like all over the place.
Yeah.
She keeps showing up and everything.
Yep. One of my favorite animes, just because of how well it was directed, acted, and written, Forest of Piano.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't hear enough people talk about that one. It's so
Oh my
good.
God. Guys, if you have never seen this anime, I think it is still available on Netflix. You have to watch this. It's
so
just
good.
Amazing. It is an amazing show. And then Danganronpa 2, Kyoko Kuroki?
Kyoko Kirigiri. She was in 1 also. 1 and 2.
1 and 2. And then who are you in 3?
Kaede Akamatsu.
There you go. So that's the list, y'all. She's been in a whole bunch of stuff, but that is the primary meat potatoes list of what she has done. And we'll mention this again towards the end of the show, but let everybody know, because you yourself have your own Twitch channel. Where can people follow you on that?
So my Twitch channel is called With a K Games, no spaces. And it's from years of a lifetime of frustration of everyone spelling my name with a C. So I play video games over there. I've been streaming Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, nice.
And I just got a PC, so now I can stream like Among Us and Fall Guys and stuff with people. So that'll be fun.
Nice. As a kid growing up, were you an actress? How did you start getting involved in everything?
Yes. So I was acting as like a hobby, basically, since kindergarten.
Okay.
In kindergarten, I got cast as the Big Bad Wolf in the Three Little Pigs. Yeah. And the Big Bad Wolf was the star. And it was very exciting. And that was like, from then on, I was like, I want to act. It's so fun. But it was always like, I didn't think it was a job option. It was always kind of framed as like, it's a fun little side activity that you do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In first grade, they did Jack and the Beanstalk, and I wanted to be Jack, and they wouldn't let me be Jack, and I was really upset about it. And they were like, well, you were the Big Bad Wolf last year, so you're going to be part of the Beanstalk. And I was like, the injustice. So, but Yeah, I did like competitive speech and debate all
Nice.
through high school. Yeah, and I
Sweet.
did mock trial. I always
Okay.
wanted to be a witness, not a lawyer in mock trial because the witnesses did the acting.
Right.
The lawyers had to like learn,
Yeah.
objections and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to know any of that.
Yeah.
And and then I didn't really realize until college when I took as an elective like intro to acting because I needed an elective and I was like, I like acting, I'll do that. And the teacher for that class was like, change majors, you have to change majors. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean change majors? And then like just do acting? And she's like, yeah, it's like a career. And I was like, oh, right, that is a career that I could do. And I originally went to school for like computer science and graphic design. I thought I was gonna like make video games or cartoons.
Yeah.
But then I really did not like doing either of those as like a job. So yeah, I changed majors. I took a voiceover class with Tony Oliver around the same time I was in that elective.
Yeah.
And he also was like, hey, you should consider like doing this for real. And I was like, what? So I did.
Wow. Now, do you have any siblings?
I have one sister.
One sister. Older, younger?
She's younger. She's
Okay.
a lawyer. So she went the,
She
very...
went the traditional route.
Yes, yeah.
What? So you're studying to be a graphic designer, and mom and dad are like, what was their opinion of when you decided to like say, hey?
Yeah, they already, when I was like, art, I realized in my like last year of high school that like I had wanted to be a veterinarian for like my whole life. And I was really good at, I was really good at math and science. So they were always like, great, cool, good, do that. But then the last year I was like, I want to be creative. And I also had taken art classes since I was like 9.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe that's what I want to do. So they were like, but do computer science also. So that's why I was in both.
Okay.
Because they're like, still be, something kind of, left brainy. So when I decided to switch, they were supportive but worried because they know that acting is so unstable.
Yeah.
So my mom was like, are you sure if you want to go into the entertainment industry, what if you went into like, production or like something more stable that gives you a paycheck every week?
Yeah.
So I did do production for a little while as like interning, and then I was hired on for like a year. And I like it, but it's not, it's not what I love the most.
Right.
So I told them, I was like, I'm gonna, if by the time I'm 30, I like don't have a career, then I'll still be young enough that I could switch into like some other, production thing and I'd probably still be fine. But thankfully, like when I was 20, things started happening. So it was all good. They were pretty quickly on board.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So was it through Tony that you learned about anime? Did you know about anime before Tony?
Yes. So in high school, I kind of like, when I was a kid, I watched like Pokemon and Dragon Ball and like Digimon and everything. But I didn't really register it as anime. Like I would watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
Right.
I don't know. I just thought they were cartoons.
Yeah.
And it didn't like click in my mind until high school when I discovered Fruits Basket. I found the manga.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I think I was at the bookstore and wandered into the manga section. And I was like, what's this? And then I like fell in love with Fruits Basket.
Yeah.
And I was at a very small all-girls school, and it was really just me and one other friend that kind of got into this manga thing. But we knew that like everyone at our school would like this story because it's a romance story, and we're at an all-girls school, and we're like, everyone would like this. They're just prejudiced against cartoons. So we tricked our lunch table into reading the manga because we were like, we have a book that we want you all to read, but you have to promise to read it. And somehow they stuck to their promise. And then they all fell in love with it. And then our whole grade, it started like spreading throughout the grade.
Oh, wow.
And there would be girls like passing me in the hallway being like, hey, do you have volume 16? And I'd be like, yeah, here you go. And they'd be like, slip it to me, because they were still a little embarrassed that they liked this manga. And so then for my birthday, I had a sleepover with a friend who had a birthday like around the same time as me, and we both were now into Fruits Basket. And a friend got us the anime version. And that was like the first time watching anime that I like registered it was anime.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we watched and I was like, this isn't how I imagined any of them to sound. And I'm like, oh, that's what people say about me now. And yeah, it was so fun. I like fell in love with the anime, and I thought I was a big anime fan. But then I went to Anime Expo when I was like 18.
Yeah.
And I realized that the like 3 anime that I knew and liked were not, like, that was not high fan level.
Right.
Everyone there was like dressed as all these people I'd never heard of. And,
yes.
and there were all these, I didn't realize you had to like wait in line for panels. I was like, this many people are here? Like, I don't understand. So I considered myself an anime fan.
Right.
But I didn't know that many.
Yeah. But
I liked them. I liked the style and I liked the stories, and yeah.
That's very cool. And you've born and bred in California, right?
Yes, yeah. I didn't have to move very far, thankfully.
And you went to college here as well?
I did.
Okay.
I've like never ventured away from California.
Yeah. And then it wasn't you go to conventions. Well, you did go to conventions, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I went to like Anime Expo, and I think Anime Boston were the only 2 I went to as like a fan before I really like started in the industry.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So like since now being a voice actor, I've been to so many conventions,
right.
you know, like all over the place,
right.
and they're so fun. I miss them.
Yeah. So, you mentioned one of the shows that you grew up watching as a kid, Digimon.
Yes.
And now here we are, 2020.
Yes.
Oh, well, when you recorded it, was it in 2020 or 2019?
It was, because I recorded it from home.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I think they started recording it right before everything happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was probably like one of the last actors that they recorded before they shut everything down.
Yeah.
So, that must be surreal a little bit.
It was very exciting. I was like, what? Digimon? Whoa. When they sent me the audition, they were like, are you interested? And I was like, yes.
Am I interested?
Yes, here's my audition, please. Thank you. Okay, bye.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You've done a whole swamp load of stuff. If there was one particular role for you, Erika, that was just besides the ones that haven't been written yet by your fiance,
right.
What would be like an existing character that's out there, either anime or regular animation, doesn't matter, that it's like, so Erika, we had to do some recasting and we wanted to know if you would like to do boom. What would that be?
Okay, I feel like anyone who is in the chat who like knows me at all knows that I'll say Kairi from Kingdom Hearts is like my favorite.
Yeah?
I love her so much. Yes. Yeah, that was like the first video game I played that made me like feel strong emotions when I was a child, I was like, oh my god, there's a big story going on, and I was like so into Sora and Kairi.
Yeah.
So yeah, and when I was first, discovering that voiceover was a thing, I would like practice Kairi's voice.
Oh, would you? Okay.
Because it's like, it's like she's so cute, and she's like a princessy voice, and I was like, that's fun.
Yeah.
So
awesome. What did you do? Were you in Kingdom Hearts?
In Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm like background people. So I'm like a newscaster and like people you save. It was very exciting.
Yeah. But still, it was like, yes, I'm finally in it. It's like,
I know. I was so excited. Yeah, the director was like, okay, so do you know anything about Kingdom Hearts? And I was like, yes, you don't have to explain anything to me. Don't worry. I've got this. And she was like, oh, thank God. Because it's very complicated. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. I got you.
And did you do it by yourself, or was there a group of you guys?
It was just me.
Just you. Okay.
And before I went in, the casting director was like, can you do this list of like 6 accents? And I was like, yeah, I'll practice them over the weekend. And then I didn't do any accents when I was recording. So I was like, okay, well, but I practiced them all. So now I'm better at them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you, in your convention experience so far, have you been to any other countries?
I've been to Canada for a convention, and tragedy. This year, at the end of March, I was supposed to go to Paris for an event. Yeah, I know, all expenses paid to Paris. I was like, it was so, and that was when, things were like first starting. I was like, people are overreacting. They're canceling my Paris event. And then, of course, they weren't overreacting, but I'm still sad about it. Yeah. I'm hoping that I'll go to Australian conventions because my fiance, Luke, is Australian. So his whole family lives over there.
Okay.
So that would be great to get like a trip to go see his family, basically.
That would be awesome.
Do a convention and then stay for a week. That would be nice. Because it's such a long trip. Every time we go back to visit his family, I like brace myself for the trip because I hate it. I hate it so much. It's such a long flight.
Very long.
I like it once I'm there. I love his family, and I like Australia a lot. But oh boy, getting over there is, I don't like it. Yeah.
Besides Australia and France, are there any other countries that hopefully, when things get back to quote unquote normal?
Yes. I would love to go do conventions in London and like New Zealand. I know I have fans in both of those places, so
very cool.
That'll be cool. Yeah. Anywhere. I'm not gonna say no to
right.
Any country that wants to bring me out. Come on, yeah.
Exactly.
What's up?
Exactly. Based on the roles that you have done, have you felt an affinity with any of the characters that you have voiced? Like, oh my gosh, this is me, but in anime form.
Yes, my Persona character.
Your Persona character, okay.
Yeah, Ann. He's like, it was weird. It like as we were going through the script, I was like, she would say things and I'd be like, that's exactly what I would say in this situation. Like, I feel like I've said things with my friends before that she says in the game. I was like, this is very strange. And they only sent me the audition because the client said that he heard me in Love Live, and my character in Love Live is like not at all like this Persona character. So I was like, man, good thing you took that chance there, I guess, because it just so happened that like I don't know, I was very similar to her just in real life, and I guess they thought I sounded like she should. So that's good.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, the audition was like just a couple lines. They were like, can you be a high school girl that's like nice, but not too nice? And that's all I knew about her. And I was like, okay. And then it turned into like this huge role. I didn't even realize how big it was going to be even after we started recording. And then just more, that game's 150 hours long. So we recorded for like 6 months. And the farther we got into the story, the more I was like, did you guys spy on me? Like, is this my life? I don't understand. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Do enough people in the industry know your voice to not typecast you, or do you find yourself being typecast?
I don't think I get typecast very much. I feel like I've gone through kind of like waves of possibly typecasting. Like I'll get a bunch of princess characters all at the same time.
Okay.
Or I'll get a bunch of like boy characters all at the same time.
Right.
But it like, it only lasts for like 6 months of like those same type of castings, and then it seems like everyone's like, oh, she can do this voice all at the same time, and then they all cast me as something else.
Right.
So I've been lucky to play, I feel like I've played every, type and age and voice range that I can.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. I like that I'm not constantly doing the same thing, and keeps life very interesting.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yes, exactly. Sure. That's why I like voiceover. I feel like when I was in college in theater, I'm very tall, and they were always really focused on my height. They were like,
I'm so glad you're saying that you say you're very tall, because you and I are the same height, and I'm going like, I feel small compared to like some of the people that I'm around.
Yeah, well, for like a girl, girls, they're generally shorter than 5'9", 5'10", and they were always just like, oh, you can't play this, like, the lead, because we have to cast the man and he's shorter than you, and we want to cast this guy, and like it looks weird when you're next to each other. And I'm like, what? That's so dumb. And they would always cast me as kind of similar types. I'm tall and thin, and they were like, oh, you can be like the young, bright-eyed character, whatever. That's it. It's just a young, bright-eyed college student girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. I mean, it's fun. I like acting and anything, but voiceover is so cool. I can play like my Beyblade character who's like this screaming child boy, and then my persona character is this cool high school girl, and I can play villains and cats. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you could be a hero with a special ability that no other hero has, so it has to be one of those special abilities like that we haven't necessarily, that a normal superhero wouldn't necessarily have, like flying or whatever,
Oh.
What do you think your special power would be?
Ooh, and I have to use this to like fight crime. I can't just use it for my life.
No, it could just be in general. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know some heroes have this, but it's like rarer than others. I would want like time manipulation, just so I have more time in my day to like do things and get things done, and to sleep. I would like pause time just so I can sleep, and then I wouldn't have to waste time sleeping, and I would still be rested every day.
There you go.
Yeah. So
that would be awesome.
There's when you think about time manipulation too much, there's like a lot of logistics where I'm like, that wouldn't work. But okay, it's superhero land, and we don't have to worry about that.
Exactly. Yeah. Who cares?
Like if I stop time, then do I stop the oxygen flow? So then if I stay in one spot, do I suffocate? Like whatever. Unlimited oxygen and time manipulation.
There you go. Awesome. That's great. Well, we do have a few questions that are coming in. So I thought, why not open it up and, if there, hopefully you'll be able to answer all these, but, there might be one or two that are just kind of out there. And it's like, I don't even remember their character. And that's okay. That's okay as an answer too. So
sometimes fans are like, they call me a character name, and I'm like, you're gonna have to say what that was from.
Yeah.
Once you tell me the name of the thing, then I'll remember it. But you can't just say a name. I don't know.
Right. Okay, so Aaron is asking if there are any favorite memories or moments from doing your character from Last Evolution, without, spoilers, of course.
Oh, it's hard not to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like just like the first session where I was like, I'm doing Digimon, was like just really exciting. And even though I was, at home, and I was still figuring out the like remote recording situation, so I was stressed because I was like, oh my god, please sound good, because I like don't want to lose Digimon. But it all was fine, and they were like, you sound great, you sound good. And we like worked out, since it was so early on in quarantine, everyone was still figuring out how to like dub from home with like the video and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it went pretty smooth, and I was like pleasantly surprised. And yeah, it was just really fun being in Digimon, and I was like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, is the theme song gonna play here? And they were like, no, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know a lot about your character. I do know as much to say that, without spoilers or anything of that nature, it's got to feel good playing a character that has this huge arc like your character does, where it's like peeling layers of an onion, and then it's like the more into the movie you get, the more you find out about her. Because this is a new character. This is not a character that existed in any of the TV shows, right?
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to talk about her.
Right,
I know. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
she has such a cool arc, and I like love it.
Yeah.
So I'll have to wait until it's out, and then I can really gush and be like, I love this part.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Apparently, I guess you're going to know who this person is. They go by the name Diamond.
Oh, hi! That's one of my mods for Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Diamond.
So, Diamond just wanted to say that they're very proud of you for figuring out Windows and OBS.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. I got my PC yesterday, and I had 2 hours of sleep the night before,
Oh,
and I was
geez.
messaging my mods being like, I don't understand PCs. It turned on, but I don't know how to do anything. And they were trying to help me, being so helpful, and I was like, I've got to sleep first. I can't figure it out. But I think I've got it now, so I think it'll all be fine.
Awesome. Shara, who is one of my mods on this channel, wanted to know how it feels to voice in the, like, if you remember anything, you know, fond memories, experiences, warm, fuzzy feelings in Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. Oh, man. That's another one that I was just, like, so excited when they told me I was cast, you know, as, like, a cool character in Final Fantasy VII. I was like, oh, my God, amazing. Dreams coming true. So my character in Final Fantasy is, like, such a brat. I love her so much. It's so fun to play characters that are, like, you know, not super nice.
Yeah, you want to just kick to the curb.
Yeah, she's not like a villain, but she's not like nice.
Right.
So I had so much fun like doing all of her lines. And then I always when the game came out, people were like tweeting me when they would find her, and they'd be like, "Man, she's such a jerk," and I would be like, "Haha, yes, she is a jerk." But you have to help her. Do it.
Right.
So I everything about that recording process was really fun. I remember the studio that I recorded in had color changing lights, and I was like really fascinated by
Yes.
I was like, "Can I change these?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna change them to like I forget what color I did for her. I did like teal because she's like, I don't know, she felt like a teal kind of person." Okay. And they were like, "You're only the second actor to play with the lights, by the way." And I was like, "Well, the other actors are boring." So.
Now, in 7, how long ago did you record that? Do you remember? Like, how many years ago?
It was last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, time seems like so, you know, now, since quarantine has been here, I'm like, when was anything happening? I can't keep anything straight. But I'm pretty sure it was last year, like, in the summer?
Okay.
I think. It wasn't too long before the game came out. Because, you know, she has like a side story. She's not one of the main story characters.
Right.
So I think I was one of the last people to come in and record for her. But yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. That was with Skylark, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Right. Cool. Oh, Shona has a question for you. Wanted to know how you did get your 2 roles in the Danganronpa series.
Oh. It was so long ago, but I'm pretty sure I auditioned.
Pretty sure.
And yes, pretty sure. And so my character Kyoko, who's in the first and second games, she's like the kind of guiding the protagonist through. She's like the detective, you know, she's the ultimate detective or whatever.
Okay.
And so I was really excited because I was, you know, pretty newly out of high school, and I still was in my mock trial brain, and she was very like mock trial-y, you know, like they have the trials and she's like leading them through being like, "What's the evidence? Don't you remember that this was over here?" And I did like my mock trial hand movements because we had very specific, like we had to keep our fingers together and like gesture like this, you know. And I was like, "Oh, I'm getting to use my very niche knowledge in this role," and I was really excited about it.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and that was one of my earlier, like, bigger roles. So that was really cool. I was nervous back then, you know, whenever I got a role that was, like, pretty big. And so I was like, oh, God, I hope I do a good job. And she has, like, a deeper voice that I hadn't really done at that point in my career yet.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it was fun.
Then I'm assuming the same thing happened with 3. You just got an audition for that and...
I think I didn't audition for 3.
Oh.
I think they auto-cast for that.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I got an email and they were like, "Oh, you're the protagonist." And I was like, whoa, moving up in the world.
Very cool.
So she was very sweet and very cute. She's very like, they're both nice characters, but Kyoko's very like down to business, doesn't want to make friends. And then Kaide's like, friends everywhere, let's all be friends. And I was like, this is cute, I like it. I think she was more like just my regular voice.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Moop wants to know if you have a favorite Disney princess.
oh, it's like picking between children. So growing up, all through my childhood, Belle was like my number one. I always loved Belle. She was the best princess. I loved her so much. My sister's a redhead, so she always loved Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, Ariel's number one. Belle's okay. She's number two. And I was like, no, you're wrong. I like to read. Belle likes to read. We're basically the same person. But now, as more movies have come out, Rapunzel is either tied with her or like maybe edging her out a little bit. Yeah. I also really like Moana. There've been a lot of good ones, you know, in the past decade or so.
Right.
Tiana's great. Oh, there's so many good ones.
Yeah, there are.
But I feel like Rapunzel might be my top one.
Yeah.
Right now. I really like her.
Very cool. Very
yeah.
Cool. Ben, who is actually watching us from the UK right now.
Hi, Ben.
Wants to know what you enjoy most about voicing Elizabeth Leonis.
Leonis, yes.
And what is yours and Bryce's on-set relationship like compared to Elizabeth and Meliodas?
Bryce is awesome. Also, I find it hilarious that, like, I'm a lot taller than him in real life. So, and Elizabeth is a lot taller than Meliodas. So I'm like, I told him one time, I was like, we should cosplay as them. And he was like, not into it. And I was like, but it would be cool because, like, we're the right height. It's fun. I mean, he's taller than Meliodas is, but, you know, I'm a tall person.
Right.
And yeah, he's great. Unfortunately, we record individually, so I don't usually interact with him like while we're recording. But at like in the halls, we talk. We used to back when there were hallways just talking.
I know.
And like cast parties to go to.
Yes.
But yeah, I love him, and I love Elizabeth so much. She's like the princessiest princess I have played. But yeah, she's great. She's like my highest range character, I think, or one of the highest ranges for sure.
Yeah.
And as the years have gone on, and like they've, you know, we did the first season like 6 years ago or something, and then recently we did the most recent season 4.
Yeah.
And so they called and they were like, "All right, we're doing more." And I was like, "Oh God, my voice has changed in the last 6 years. It's hard to go that high anymore." But we did it.
Yeah.
But I love her. Thankfully, she's had a character arc that, like, in Japanese, her voice is lowered a little bit because she's become a little tougher. Okay. And I was like, yes,
cool.
Good.
Yay! Keep going.
It's naturally lower because of her character development.
Become more tougher.
Yes, exactly.
More tougher. I don't. That's not proper English. Kim, question Raven would like to know if you can describe. This is a good question. If you can describe your process for creating a range of different female voices, is it based on the attitude of the character or how you would like the character's personality to be?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when I get an audition for a character, first I'll read the character description, and then I'll kind of like in my head be like, okay, based on this, if I was gonna draw her, I would like imagine something like this. And then if they sent a picture, I'll look at the picture and see if I was anywhere close.
Right.
Pictures are so helpful.
That's interesting that you think like that. Your brain still kind of goes to the art side first.
Yeah, I still am like, I have a little bit of that back when I was an artist thing.
Yeah.
And then if they sent a picture, I am like, yay, thank you very much. That's my number one thing. Because if I see a picture of a character, then I feel like in my head I can imagine what, again, and I'm a casting director in my head, so I'm like, I can imagine what I think they might sound like with a voice. And it's not always a voice that I can necessarily do.
Right.
But then so I'll try to like voice match what I've imagined for the character, basically.
Okay.
So you know, if it's like a smaller character, I'll kind of tend towards like a higher range voice because generally they have smaller vocal cords, so they'll just like have a tinier voice. Not necessarily in power, just in you know.
Right.
But yeah, I guess it goes. I really like fully imagine it first, and then I try to like emulate that coming out of my mouth. So I'll like record a take, and then I'll listen back and be like, that wasn't exactly what I heard in my mind, you know? And so I'll try to get a little closer to that on take 2 and take 3. I try not to do more than like, you know, a handful of takes. I like practice before I go into record, because when I first started, I would do so many takes, and then it's like, you know, none of them are better than the next one at a certain point, but you're just like, I have to send the exact right thing. Is take 100 better than take 98? I don't know. And then it's like your life falls apart. So now I'm like, I'll practice before I get in the booth. Yeah. I'll feel like I'm in a good spot without hearing myself back. And then when I go in the booth, I'll do the first take with the intention of like, I'll do my best, but I know I'm going to hear it back, and I might not be hearing exactly what I think is coming out of my mouth. So then I adjust from there.
Right.
But yeah, as far as like a range goes, I would practice to like expand my range. I would kind of like do scales a lot every day.
Oh.
And see what comfortably I could do.
You sing?
Yeah, like singing. Yeah, I did a lot of musicals in theater. Yeah.
Awesome.
And singing is like so good for voiceover. I mean, we're basically matching pitches all day with talking. So, especially for dubbing, you're like matching a lot of pitches. Mm-hmm. So singing's very helpful, and I would basically just do singing training, and then as the days and months went by, I would find that I could reach lower notes and I could reach higher notes, and then I would kind of use those in new voices I was coming up with. I would try not to use any part of my range until I was really comfortable with it, until I could like really hold out singing like a whole song in that pitch. Right. Because you know you don't want to hurt yourself.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so these next 2 questions are coming from 2 different users. Okay. 2 different viewers, but they're both about your dog.
Oh, he's a star.
So, Mirage wants to know how Gus is, and then Ben Gravity wants to know if Gus is named after the character from Psych.
He is named after the character from Psych. Yay!
Wow.
Most people think he was named after Gus from Cinderella, which we do call him Gus because I do like that Gus.
Yes.
But no, his full name is Burton Guster. He was named after Burton Guster from Psych. And because when we brought Gus home, he didn't have a name, you know, for the first week or so.
Yeah.
And we were really into Psych at the time. And Gus would like pay a lot of attention whenever Psych was on. He was always like watching the TV. So I was like, maybe your name is in this show. And we liked Gus the best. So he's like a Gus.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But he's good. He's downstairs. We have like a baby gate that we put up when I'm recording, because otherwise he comes to my recording booth and like scratches on the door. Right. So I was recording right before this, so I didn't take it down. He's downstairs.
Awesome.
Yeah.
KC would like to know, what is one video game series that you would like to voice a character in?
Ooh. Zelda?
Zelda?
Yeah, I loved Zelda games. When I was a kid, I would play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask just like all the time. But I would never finish them because I was too scared of the Skulltulas. But I would play the beginning of them over and over again. You know, the parts where it's happier and less spooky.
Right.
But I watched my dad finish the game, so I knew what happened. But you know,
oh, okay.
I would play the parts where you ride Epona around just constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be really cool. I would love to be in a Zelda game. Or like a Mario game or something. You know, I'm a big Nintendo fan.
Cool. Cool. Gildan would like to know if you have ever worked with someone you idolize or someone you respected super highly, and how was that experience, if yes?
Yes, like constantly.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I realized that like voiceover was like a career, you know, I started watching like panels from conventions of like voice acting panels, basically, because I was so curious about everything about them. And when I went to conventions, I would specifically only go really to the voice acting ones.
Right.
So anyone that I had seen on a panel before, which was a lot because, YouTube has a lot.
Sure.
Anytime I got to work with any of them, like Wendy or like Laura Bailey, I used to watch all the time.
Yeah.
Travis Willingham, they're like so cool. Todd Habercorn, I remember I was really into Ouran High School Host Club, and he was my favorite character.
Nice.
And so the first time he came into the studio, I was working at reception at a studio for a while.
Okay.
And he came in at one point and he was like, "Hi, I'm here for a session." And I was like, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Todd Habercorn." And I was like, "Huh." And then on my inside, I was like, "No, don't be weird." And I was like, "Oh, cool." But I wanted to be like, "I really like your work." But then I've worked with him a ton since then. I don't know. I feel like everyone I've gotten to work with is like, it's so cool. I just like, especially when I was starting out, I was like, wow, you do this for a career, and like you've been so many cool characters, and you've directed so many cool things. I was just like really excited to work with everybody.
Yeah.
And working with Tony was really cool since he was like my first teacher too, and he like directed Power Rangers back in the day.
Yes.
I was like, "You're so cool."
Yes.
So yeah, he's been like a mentor. It's been really awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kyle would like to. Oh God, Kyle. I say that very lovingly, Kyle. Thank you. Because he always likes knowing the answer to this question, which is, what is your favorite sandwich?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love sandwiches, first of all, so thank you for asking. My answer is super specific.
Yes.
So there's a place called Earl of Sandwich. I don't know if it's only a California thing or if it's not.
Yeah.
But they have it at Downtown Disney, which is where I would usually get it. Unfortunately, haven't gotten it in a while. They also have it at LAX Airport. In the international part. So sometimes if I had a domestic flight, I would go to the international terminal just to get, it's like outside, so you don't have to like check in, It's
right.
So I would go there and get a sandwich. But they have it's basically a Thanksgiving sandwich. And so it's turkey and stuffing and gravy and cranberry sauce and mayonnaise, and it's so good. Oh my God, it's my favorite. Anytime there's a Thanksgiving sandwich with stuffing in it, I'm there. Starbucks also has a Thanksgiving sandwich that they have seasonally.
Yes.
It's almost time for them to have it back. I'm like, I haven't had Starbucks since the pandemic, but I'm like, I need that Thanksgiving sandwich. So I guess Thanksgiving sandwiches are my answer.
There you go.
Yeah, they're so good.
I don't remember the name of it. I'm going to have to go back into my messages with, Mike Sorich.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We went to this one restaurant. It's in Burbank, and they actually serve that every day. Yes.
See, that's like Earl of Sandwich. They had it all the time.
Yeah.
It started seasonal, but everyone loved it so much that they kept it year round. Man, see, Thanksgiving sandwiches are where it's at. More restaurants need to have them.
There you go. Kim would like to know, while working on Nora Rise of the Yokai Clan and Yokai Watch, did you get to learn about all the different Japanese lore, and did you find a favorite yokai?
Oh, that's a good question. So in Nura, I played the mom of the main character, and then I also played a friend. And neither of them really interacted with the yokai in the show. So my knowledge was very minimal in Nura.
Yeah.
But in Yokai Watch, I played the, what is it called when there's two protagonists? It's like a demi-tagonist or something, She comes in season 3, and she's really obsessed with aliens, but then there's yokai all around, and she's really disappointed that they aren't aliens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did get to learn a lot about yokai being her, because she was always like, what's a yokai? I don't understand. Like, she didn't know anything, So they'd have to explain it to her. And I really liked, in that show, Koma-san the most. He's like a little. I thought he was a cat, but apparently he's a dog. And I don't know in like actual lore what he is, but in the show he was very like adorable, and he was always like, "Oh my swirls," and getting into trouble. And he seemed like a little sweetheart. He just wanted to like go around helping out his mom, and I was like, "That's cute." He just wants to help his mom out. So yeah, he was my favorite in the show. I still don't know really like in real lore what any of these yokai translated to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was my favorite.
Very cool. Very cool. Steve Wade wanted to know if you can share. Oh, interesting. Steve, how do you even know this stuff, dude? Okay, you're not even supposed to know this. It's like, okay, if you can you share who directed you in your session or sessions of Last Evolution? If it was Ryan or Suzanne?
It was Susie, I think.
Susie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suzanne. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she. You know, they both direct me in a bunch of things, so I'm like, which one did which?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I was like, I miss you, because you know we finished Sailor Moon like last year, so I'm pretty sure she was, because I remember being like, yay, we're back.
Right. Yeah. Susie
Mm-hmm.
directed me as well, so.
Yes, she's great. I love her.
Star Killer would like to know. Oh, interesting. If you have a favorite band or music genre.
Oh, man. Okay. So I've always, ever since high school, like, not known how to answer this question. And, you know, back in high school, it was like, when dating, that was like a standard, like, what's your favorite band? And I was like, I don't have an answer. Because my music taste changes, like, depending on my mood.
Yeah.
So
right.
I like almost anything at a different time of day or season of the year. I often am drawn towards, like, musicals just because I like being in musicals and I like the story of musicals. You know, I love pop and Disney songs and, like, anything.
Yeah.
What's the most recent thing I downloaded on my phone? That'll give you some insight. Let's see. Oh, I was listening to the DuckTales theme song most recently, but I didn't download recently. Most recently, I downloaded Phineas and Ferb songs.
Okay.
So, you know, it's still musical genre.
Yeah.
Frozen 2, Taylor Swift, Prince of Egypt. It's a lot of musicals, really.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. I guess musicals are probably number one. Tuck Everlasting, yeah, these are all musicals.
Yeah.
Except for Taylor Swift, she was like sprinkled in there.
Right.
I haven't listened to her whole new album, but I have it on my phone.
Oh, this is something that I just thought of, and it's not really up for debate. We're not going to get into a big discussion about it, but it's only because of who I'm having on next week. Would you consider Hamilton a musical or an opera?
That's a good question. I consider, if you consider Les Mis a musical, then I consider Hamilton a musical. So it depends on really how you define Les Mis, which I personally define it as a musical, but I know people argue with me about that.
Yeah.
I feel like opera is a very specific singing style. So in my mind, I lean more towards it's a non-dialogue musical. It's full musical.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know people argue with me about that.
No.
Yeah.
Kite would like to know what it was like working on the P5 anime compared to the game.
Yes. It was very different. I mean, it's the same story generally, just like super condensed in the anime. And it was like, 5 years later that then we were going back to do the anime. And then they're like, okay, so it's all the stuff from the game that you did years and years ago, and now it's in the anime.
Right.
So it was really cool to get to like go back and do the same scenes again. And since we'd already done the story of the game, for the game's Valerie Aram directed the games, and then Keith Aram directed the anime.
Right.
So there's two different directors.
Yeah.
So that in itself is like a different experience. You know, I love them both. They've both directed me on various things.
Yeah,
but a different director is you get a different feel, and they like different things. And Keith really wanted to like have fun with the characters, since he was like, you know, people who are watching the anime, probably a lot of them have already played the game. So they already have what you guys did, which was like, great work, amazing, everyone loves it. So there might be moments where we can like kind of go a little further with things, or like, he wanted there to be more moments of my character being like even tougher than she is in the game. So I think we like erred on the side of like maybe pulling her away from anything too high pitched. It was still the same voice and everything. Right. It was a little, she was like a little tougher at certain moments.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. And we also did like a new way of dubbing that I haven't done on anything else.
What?
PCB tweeted about this, so I know I can tell people about it.
Okay.
But it was like, normally, for people who don't know how dubbing works, you normally dub to picture. So they'll give you a preview of the Japanese line or scene or whatever, and you'll watch that once, and then they'll go back and they'll have 3 beeps, and it'll be beep, 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 and then you start on where the 4th beep would be. That's where your first line is, and you go to the picture. But for this, they would play just the one Japanese line. We would watch it, but there'd be no beeps. It would start immediately on the line, and then the screen would go dark, and then we would just wild do 2 versions of the line, and then they would make sure it fit the timing. And then they'd move on, because they wanted to focus on like they said they wanted us to really focus on just having fun and acting and not worrying so much about the lip flaps.
Wow.
Which was very interesting. So I was like very curious to see how it was going to come out, because I was like, I didn't see if any of it fit. I trusted them.
That is some magic engineering work going on.
Yeah.
There.
Oh my gosh, they must have done so much work on the engineering side. We didn't even do pickups for timing. I was like, what?
Wow.
We did like a few pickups for like changing some words or something. And I was like, really? We're not doing any timing pickups? And they were like, no, it all fit. And I was like, oh. So it was very exciting. It was really cool.
That is cool.
And I'm glad it seems like I've seen, clips people have been posting, and I haven't had a chance to go through and watch the full show. Sure. On Crunchyroll, on Funimation is where it is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the clips I've seen, they look good. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And like Max, especially, Max Middleman, man, he had so much fun with Ryuji. Because he wasn't focusing on any lip flaps or anything, and I think they were just like, just go nuts.
Yeah.
So every line I've seen of him in the anime is so funny. And I'm like, darn it, you're really showing us all up with all your amazing reads here, man.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. And recording anime and recording games are like so different.
Yeah.
But this was like more similar to a game recording than an anime recording, in my opinion, since we weren't really dubbing, I guess. We were watching it for reference, and then if we were really off, they'd have us like redo it.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
That is cool. Maxstar wanted to ask if you've had any singing roles.
Yes. Oh man, I'm always really excited when I get to sing, because I did musicals, and I'm like, ah! And so I was never, my thing in musicals was I always relied on like character-y stuff, because I think I'm a good singer, but I'm not like, everyone gasps and falls down when they hear me sing, because it's like angels, like, no. So I rely on like funny, character-y things. So I'm always like, come on, animation, because that's where I can really use those skills of like character-y singing. So lately, within the last couple years, I finally, people have realized that I can carry a tune, and so they've been letting me sing in things. Most of the I've been in a couple of animated musicals, but they're still being animated. Okay. So can't talk about them yet. But they're very exciting. I got to sing with a celebrity for one of them that I was like, oh my god, I'm so starstruck. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Let's see, what are things that have been released that I've sung in?
Well, you had to sing for a little bit in DRV3.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That was fun. And then in Brand New Animal, Jackie sings a little bit.
Okay.
And Jackie is like such a funny character. He's like, this little raccoon boy.
Yeah.
And he's like comic relief, like completely. And it was really fun singing his songs. I was like, we got to those points and I was like, oh my God, am I about to sing? And they were like, yes. And I also sang in Forest of Piano. I was another like boy character who was like angrily playing the piano and like screaming out a song. And that was so fun. Yeah. So I have done some. I know there's more that I'm forgetting, but I don't want to accidentally say one that's not out. So, we'll, eventually though, these animated musicals will hopefully come out, and I'm very excited about them. I got to see a like cut of one of them at the director's house. He had like some of the cast over and showed us the almost finished animation, and it was very exciting.
Normal Girl. Okay, there's a user called Normal Girl who would like to find out if you ever feel tempted to sing something in character as one of the characters you play, like singing a song that fits Kaede or Ain while playing as them.
Oh. So, like, while I'm recording as them, not really, because I'm usually, like, there to work, not just bursting into song. But for warm-ups on the way there, I do sing. I listen specifically if I'm doing a character that I've done before. Mm-hmm. I do specifically play songs. Well, when I used to have a commute, on the way there, and sing in the character voice to try and like warm up and get into everything.
Yeah.
So yes, I have done that quite a lot, but just in the privacy of my car.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. JB Chris, I guess, has a question for both of us. Okay. How long did it take before you felt you had a good grasp on acting?
Oh. Do I have a good grasp on acting? I don't know.
My answer to that is I'm still learning every day.
Yeah, me too. I take classes as often as I can. And I feel like there's things in every class that like I'll discover something new, or even with roles like that I'm cast in, sometimes there'll be like moments where I'm like, oh, whoa, that was a cool thing I just did that I like didn't think of doing before.
Right.
So I guess I'm still learning. I guess I started finally feeling like I wasn't just totally in over my head maybe like 5 years ago-ish. I think around the time Persona came out, because they really that was such an awesome experience. Val is such a good director, and she was very she really let everyone just, really act for that. And she's really good at knowing what the other characters are gonna what kind of reads they're gonna do. Right. Because we record individually for that too.
Sure.
I got to do really good acting and scenes for that are just we spent time on them. We recorded for so long, and it was so cool. So I feel like after that came out and people responded positively to what I had done in that, I was like, okay, maybe I know what I'm doing. Maybe I can do this. But I still definitely am there's so much left to learn, and there'll be some weeks where I'm like, man, I'm not doing my best work this week. I'm my head's not in it, and I know that's a thing I have to work on. I'm distracted by outside nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
Like a gardener.
Oh yes. Oh my God, working from home has been such. I'm getting an actual isolation booth in the next month, I think.
Are you?
Yeah, because it's gotten. This pandemic keeps going. For a while, I was like, I can ride it out. Just when there's a gardener, I'll stop. When my dog is barking, I'll stop. Yeah. But now it's been so long, and it's going to continue for so long that I'm like, no, it's just, I can't. I have to turn the air on for my fiance. I need an isolation booth so he doesn't die.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally get it. Aaron would like to know if Sailor Star Maker could have any Digimon partner. Uh, who would it be and why? We're going to test your knowledge on Digimon.
I don't know. Man, okay. Also, I watched Digimon when I was so little that I didn't know their names. I just knew, like, Dinosaur one was my favorite one. Orange Dinosaur. So
which would be Agumon. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Agumon.
There you go.
So I just, man, I don't know. Just because Agumon's my favorite, I'm gonna say Agumon.
Okay.
But I don't know. Taiki would have someone really cool, I feel like, and like really chill.
Cool and chill.
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I want to give an answer from the movie, but I can't spoil anything. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about just like fun and adorable and loves chocolate? Would that work?
Yeah, I mean, I would like that. I don't know that I feel like Taiki would be like, why are you so like it's not time for chocolate. But me, Erica, yeah, totally.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is from Gildan, being in voiceover.
Yes.
How do you deal with fans and social media, and is it a hard adjustment or does it come slowly enough to be manageable?
Ooh. So the question, repeat the question again.
Yeah. Being in voiceover, how do you deal with fans, social media, and is it a hard adjustment or does it come slowly enough to be manageable?
Right, okay. So I was resistant to like getting Twitter and Instagram for a really long time because I didn't like love social media. But I was kind of peer pressured into it.
Yeah.
And now I like Twitter the most because there's a character limit. So
Yeah.
So I just like do quick thoughts of like silly things that are happening to me in the day.
Right.
And then that's it. And it's fun. It's like easy to engage with people. I can like quickly reply.
Yeah.
It was very weird when I started getting fans. Because I feel like I'm a fan of a lot of things, and then I'm like you. Like
Right.
You know, it was weird the first time I did like an autograph session, you know, and people like came and they were like, I drove from 2 states away to come see you, and I was like, why though? What?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was on the other side of the autograph table like a few years ago. It's so it's surreal. It's like really cool.
Yeah.
And I get very like socially nervous in like big crowds. So conventions were like a real learning curve for me. A lot of times at conventions, people are like, wow, you're so bubbly and amicable. And I'm like, it's been a lot of practice of like feeling like, okay, I'm okay in this crowd. Everything's fine. But I really haven't had like bad experiences with fans, which is nice. I know that there have been some other actresses that have had not so good fan experiences, but I've been very lucky. All my fans have been very nice and respectful and friendly, and I think since I am a fan of things, it's like easy to talk to them. Like I understand their excitement about things.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same excitement for a lot of things, you know, like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and like Pokemon and stuff. I'm like, yes, I get it. I like love everything. You know, I'm a fan. So yeah, social media has definitely been it's been a balancing act, I guess. Sometimes I'll find myself being like, I'm on it too much and I need to like pull away. Because it's you know, it's a little microcosm.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it does.
And then I'll just be like scrolling and being like, what am I doing with my day? Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely, there've been moments of like, I need to learn how to deal with all of these things.
Yeah.
And it's been weird. But for the most part, I've had positive experiences with everything.
That's
cool. Yeah.
Cool. Dark Flame would like to know, when you worked in River City Girls,
Yes.
did you ever meet Sean, YouTuber Jacksepticeye, and Megan McDuffie? And if so, how was it to work with them?
Alas, I did not.
Okay.
But I was directed by the lovely Christina V, and I love her. Yeah.
Really?
And that was that was like I think that was the first thing she directed me in. So I was like, this is cool, Christina, whoa.
Wow.
And yeah, I've like known her for a very long time.
Yeah.
And admired her acting work for a long time. So I was very excited.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. But alas, I did not get to meet them.
Okay.
Megan and I have talked a little bit on like Twitter. Her music is great, but I don't get to meet anybody. I'm just in a little booth by myself.
Gotcha. Aaron would like to know if you have any favorite Disney movie. Not that you're going to be able to pick one, but...
I know, it's so hard. Okay, so now that we're not specific about princesses...
Yes.
My favorite Disney movie... Again, this is like, I had one growing up, and then in recent years, one has like bumped it up.
Of course.
But The Lion King is like my all-time, growing up, I wanted to watch The Lion King over and over and over again. I love Simba, love lions, you know, he's great. Love Shakespeare. And, but recently, I think Big Hero 6 has been one of my favorite Disney movies in recent. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I want like more Big Hero 6 stuff at the theme parks. I feel like they're really missing out there. They have there would be such great ride potential, but no.
Right.
There's a lot of things that I think they should make into rides that they haven't. So.
Yeah. Ben Gravity would like to know if it is surreal for you to receive fan art.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I keep every piece of fan art that people have given me. I have like a box over here that is just filled with fan art, and I have canvases that people have painted on that don't fit in the box on top of the box. People have like painted my dog before. He's very famous. And yeah, it's so cool. Anytime I get fan art is like so crazy, and especially if it's fan art of me and not a character, I'm especially like, whoa, someone drew me. Why?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's still like super cool. I'm like always really excited and grateful when anyone wants to draw any of the characters I've been. I'm like, wow. And then when they give it to me and show it to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, so cool.
And as we're wrapping things up, this is a great time to bring this back up again. If you can let everybody know, because you also have a Twitch account, Twitch channel. Where can people follow you on here?
You can find me at With a K Games, all one word.
With a K.
With a K. Because I'm Erika with a K.
With a K Games. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Which goes with my Instagram, which is With a K Insta. Clearly, I have a lot of like pent up frustration. When I was in like 5th grade, this girl, Erika with a C, stole my lunch one day because I forgot my lunch and my mom brought it to school and she wrote my name on it. But then this other girl took it and was like, well, it said Erika. And I was like, it was spelled with a K though. And she was like, well, I don't know. I thought maybe they just spelled my name wrong. And I was like, liar.
Yeah.
And then I had to have cold chicken nuggets and it was the worst. So I have a lot of anger built up from childhood. But yes, I play video games over there. I've been playing Persona 5 Royal.
Other than Instagram and on here, is there any other place that people can follow you?
Twitter is just my name, at Erika Harlacher.
Okay.
If you can figure out how to spell my name, then
there you go. I have it spelled on your card here. So
perfect.
As we've been streaming, yes, and I do have your name with the K. So
yes, thank you.
So that is pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot of people who may not have necessarily asked you questions, but they enjoyed you being on the show. A lot of love for you, so you got to know that. Kind of just coming full circle for yourself as a person, starting off as a fan and now kind of giving that back to the fans as an actor has got to be an amazing feeling.
Yes,
So guys, that is pretty much it. Thank you guys for all of your questions. Really, really, really appreciate it. With that said, please, 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 be good humans. Keep your feet on the ground. Reach for the stars. Erika, if there's anything you'd like to tell everybody as kind of like a last wrap-up thing, please go right ahead.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that times right now are really like difficult with the pandemic and everything that's going on in the world. So if you need to talk to somebody, please reach out to people that care about you and don't let yourself get sucked into like a sad quarantine pandemic-y state.
Yeah.
Make sure you're talking to people. Make sure you're talking to your friends and your family. It's so important. Take care of yourself and take care of people that you love. And thank you guys for being here.
All right. And with that said, guys, thank you very much. Until then, mwah. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.